YouTube, what's the deal? It's your girl Jahira, and I am back. It has taken me 2 days to record this video from the time that I first encountered the catalyst for this video. The first day was essentially a fact-finding mission. And today was just sheer procrastination. I wondered, should I talk to some people to make sure that I sound succinct and articulate enough to bring this information to y'all? I wondered, should I throw some makeup on and kind of zhuzh myself up so that I would be a little more presentable than I currently am? And then I realized that while I wonder about such frivolous things, something so serious, something deathly serious is going on in this world, and I can't wait another minute to talk about it. So here we are. Since 1998, an estimated 450,000 women and girls have been raped in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, otherwise known as the DRC. And this mass rape is being used as a tactic in a civil war. And the issue at hand here is that it is altogether likely that each and every one of us have funded this war, have contributed in some way to these rapes. You see, the citizens of this country are some of the most impoverished in the world, but the country in and of itself has the potential to be one of the richest in the world. The estimated worth of the Congo right now is somewhere in the realm of over $24 trillion, which is more than the worth of the US and Europe combined. Why is the Congo so rich, you're wondering? Here we go. The Congo is rich in natural minerals, y'all. Tungsten, tantalum, tin, and gold. So, what do tungsten, tantalum, and tin have in common? Well, they end up in things like our digital cameras, our game consoles, iPads, and most importantly, cell phones. So this civil war in the Congo that has been going on since 1998, that has claimed the lives of over 5.4 million people, is being conducted over who has control over these minerals and their sale. I am bringing this to y'all because 2 days ago I was on World Star Hip Hop and I stumbled across a video. And this video rocked me to my very core. It is a short, certainly, I wouldn't say it's longer than 5 minutes. I can find out for y'all exactly. It's 6 minutes and 14 seconds. Depicting rape as a war crime. Depicting and reenacting the exact story of what happened to one woman in the DRC. And I was in shock, to say the least. I am including the link to this video below. And before I go any further with this video, I'm going to ask that all who are able to watch the mini movie that was provided by an organization known as Unwatchable. I'm going to tell you now, this video is not for the faint of heart. This video is not for those who are easily upset by acts of violence or extreme subject matter. This video is not for the ultra sensitive. I watched this video on mute. I did not hear a word, a single word of this video. I couldn't. I simply could not. So if this is beyond the scope of what you're capable of handling, I promise you, with all that I am, I will understand it. I completely understand. I also have to say this. If you are a survivor of sexual brutality, if you are a survivor of sexual assault, this video can be extremely triggering to you. It was to me. There's just no getting around it. It was not an easy thing to watch, and I was dumbstruck upon its end. But people, I am telling you, this is what is going on right now. Right now, under our very noses. This is happening on Earth, and it cannot be swept under the rug. So, I am going to give y'all the opportunity now to click the link, pause this video, watch that video, come back, and we will talk about it. And I'm going now. And I'm back. That movie will be forever ingrained in my mind as one of the most horrifying things I have ever had to witness. And I offer nothing but kudos and a true sense of gratitude to the director and the producers of this film. First of all, for putting the setting in London and changing this family to a white family, because I do believe that it hits closer to home for many people. You know, it's a sad thing to say, and I don't know what the response is going to be when I say this, but I know that a lot of Americans, including African Americans, view Africa as kind of somewhere over there. And they have a very cavalier attitude towards the disenfranchisement, towards the levels of poverty, towards the horrors that can occur and that do occur in some areas of that continent. But I sincerely wonder what the reaction will be now that we are opening our eyes to and being made aware of the fact that things that we use and are in contact with, and I mean, my cell phone is never any further than arm's reach every single day, and that the ingredients, the minerals that have been added to this phone to allow it to function, things that allow it to vibrate, things that allow it to receive a signal, that the possibility that there could be blood in this phone, blood on my hands for purchasing it, blood on the manufacturer's hands for producing it, and for where they're getting their materials from, and the methodology in which they're acquiring them. This is beyond unconscionable to me. I am outraged that I'm only now finding this out. But when you know better, you do better. And whatever you decide to do at the end of this video, you can no longer say that you didn't know. That's what you can't do. That's the mindset that I have right now. I can no longer play ignorant to the blight of a people, a rich and incredibly creative, sect of the human race. Our brothers, our sisters, under God, dealing with this on a daily basis. And y'all, please don't think that this is only happening to women and girls. Let me take a little opportunity to expound upon this idea of rape as a tactic of war. As has happened previously throughout history, and I guess in more recent history, if these insurgents, if these soldiers came in and just simply slaughtered an entire village, the UN would be alerted. So instead, what they use is rape. They rape women. They rape the female species from as young as 8 months to as old as 80 years old. You know what I mean? And just everywhere in between. They take these men and these boys and torture them. They force sons to murder their mothers and rape their sisters so that when they are recruited for this perceived war and try to go back to their village, they'll have no one to go home to. It's easier in the minds of these people, soldiers, to go in and leave these women broken, battered, harmed, tortured, humiliated, so they feel dirty, unwanted. The caste system in the Congo, you know, if a woman's husband is killed and he doesn't have a father, a living father or a living brother, she has nowhere to go. Her property is no longer hers. It belongs to the family of the husband. So they're literally out on the street with nowhere to go and no one to turn to. Oftentimes, pregnancies are recurring as a result of these rapes. Oftentimes, HIV is being transmitted along with an encyclopedia's worth of other STIs because protection is not used. And this is the state of this aspect of the world that we are living in. According to the UN, give me 1 second here, between July 29th and August 2nd, apparently insurgents soldiers ransacked a small, like a 13 village cluster. And this, cluster of 13 villages were all living harmoniously, and they were sort of in charge of this one mine. In this 3-day period, at least 387 civilians, including 300 women, 23 men, 55 girls, and 9 boys, were raped by a coalition of armed groups. Now, I know that there are those of you who live in smaller cities. I know that there are those of you who live in smaller countries. And I want you to just think for a moment about that number. And the first thing I thought of was, in New York City, if we were to find that 387 citizens had been raped over a 3-day period, the reaction would be so swift. I mean, so swift your head would spin. I don't even know that we have the agencies in place in a city like New York to handle the concept of 387 civilians being raped over a 3-day period. I really don't know. I don't think that the nonprofit sector exists for something like that in those kind of quantities right now. I really don't believe that it does. So if it doesn't exist in Manhattan, how can it possibly exist in the Congo? But this is what we're dealing with, y'all. This is the situation as it stands. For those of you who are wondering about the picture that y'all saw a moment ago, that picture was of a woman who recognized one of her attackers. So he took her eyes. This is not something out of a Spielberg movie, y'all. This is life. These are our sisters and our daughters and our brothers and our sons. And this is happening And there are those of us who inadvertently and unknowingly have contributed to the continuance of a senseless war. The United States has put into legislation that the minerals acquired for the production of these electronics must be gained, on the books, must be obtained on the books. They do not allow from what I have read, they are not allowing blood minerals to come into the U.S. and to be sold in our products. That is on the books. That's our legislation right now. The UK and Europe as a continent has no such legislation as it stands right now. I can't speak for my subtastics in Canada. I can't speak for my subtastics further abroad than that. I know that there are some Australia, New Zealand, but there are no laws right now that would prohibit these materials, these minerals, to be acquired under such circumstances. So there is a petition, an online petition at unwatchable.cc. And of course I will post the link below, encouraging the EU to put into legislation the prohibition of such a ongoing atrocity. The actual petition states, and I'll read this for you very quickly. We call on the European Union to take decisive action to ensure that European companies trading in or using minerals from the African Great Lakes region publish details of their supply chains and carry out due diligence in line with the standards set out by the UN and OECD. Once again, over 5.4 million people have died since 1998. We are talking about 13 years later, and yet it sure sounds like a Holocaust to me. I urge everybody who is watching this video, who is feeling as sick as I am right now, to go click that link below, sign that petition, and let's start leaning on the EU. I can't even fathom what the other option would be. But no woman, no girl, no boy, and no man should have to endure what the citizens of the DRC have been enduring for 13 years. I am disgusted by this knowledge, but it is not an unsolvable situation. I recall all that we did in terms of putting pressure on Uganda, and I am calling on all of you to place that same energy into this, because it's simply the right thing to do. The holidays are coming up. Hanukkah, Christmas, Kwanzaa, winter solstice. People are running around trying to figure out what to get their kids, what to get their spouse, what to get their parents, what to get their friends and loved ones. And the one desire, I can only assume, that the citizens of the Congo must be having is simply to live to see the next day. Is simply to go one more day without a soldier forcing themselves on top of these people. Please sign this petition, because it's the right thing to do. And I will see y'all very soon. Thank you for watching. That alone shows the caliber of the people that visit this channel, and I am eternally grateful for that. One love.